Jannik Sinner comments on Alcaraz, he's the priority. What happens when two of the biggest promises in world tennis look at each other with both respect and rivalry? Jannik Sinner has sent a strong message about his view of Carlos Alcaraz, he's the priority. A phrase that not only shows admiration but also anticipates one of the most exciting rivalries that tennis will experience in this new era. Today we dive into Sinner's recent statements, the mutual respect they share, and how this relationship between talents could define the future of the sport during the clay court season. In a circuit increasingly dominated by young prospects, Jannik Sinner has proven to be not only an elite competitor but also a sharp observer of the game. In recent remarks, the Italian referred to Carlos Alcaraz as the priority heading into the clay season. This recognition is no coincidence. Alcaraz has shined on this surface, winning titles and challenging the best with an aggressive, dynamic, and highly effective style. Sinner, current world number 1, knows that on clay his main rival isn't Djokovic or Zverev, it's Carlitos. He acknowledges that despite his good form, the Spaniard transforms on clay. There, he feels comfortable, his movement is enhanced, and his ability to create angles and pace is unique. For Jannik, respect does not mean fear, but preparation. He knows that if he wants to win at Roland Garros, he'll likely have to overcome the Mercian. But this message not only positions Alcaraz as a threat, it also frames the narrative of a rivalry that already excites the tennis world. Both players, young and with admirable technical arsenals, share not only talent but a maturity that makes them stand out. Sinner speaks from the humility of someone who respects his opponent, but also from the ambition of someone who wants to be the best. The respect between Sinner and Alcaraz goes beyond the media. It's palpable on the court, in the way they study, demand, and challenge each other. Analysts already predict this could become one of the great rivalries of modern tennis, akin to Federer versus Nadal. But with a new twist, both share the same era, youth, and hunger for glory. By publicly acknowledging Alcaraz's quality, Sinner raises the stakes even further. The Monte Carlo, Rome, Madrid Masters and Roland Garros will be the arenas where these two modern gladiators can measure their strength. The Italian knows that to stay on top, he must win the big titles, and that inevitably means defeating his priority rival. Moreover, Sinner's admiration humanizes the competition. In a sports world where aggressive rivalry is often highlighted, seeing two talents deeply respect each other and push one another to be better is refreshing. Both know that their legacy won't be built alone, but by facing the best possible rival on their journey. Jannik Sinner's words about Carlos Alcaraz are not just praise, they're a statement of intent. Recognizing him as his top rival is admitting that, to stay at the top, he'll have to go through the best in today's tennis. And that includes a young Spaniard who seems unstoppable on clay. The circuit is preparing for a new stage where these two prodigies will write thrilling chapters. The rivalry is set, the respect is present, and the competitive tension is only rising. What if two historic rivals decided to train together right before a potential epic clash? Carlos Alcaraz has surprised everyone by teaming up with Novak Djokovic, one of his biggest opponents, to prepare for the Monte Carlo Masters 1000. Strategic friendship or a risky move before a possible early final? In this video we'll share all the details about the unexpected joint training between Alcaraz and Djokovic, how it might influence the tournament, and whether this training could be the preview of an unforgettable final in Monaco. The clay season kicks off with tension, anticipation, and a piece of news that has shaken the tennis world. Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic, two of the most competitive players on the circuit, have decided to train together in Monte Carlo. The Spaniard, currently ranked number 3 in the world, arrives at this Masters 1000 with a need to prove himself after a first part of the season marked by inconsistency. He's only won one title in Rotterdam and fell short of his best form in tournaments like Indian Wells and Miami. Djokovic, for his part, hasn't had the best start to the year either. Although he reached the final of the Miami Masters 1000, an unexpected loss to young Czech Jakub Mensik stopped him from achieving his long-awaited 100th title. Knowing he needs to sharpen his clay game, he has found in Alcaraz a top-level sparring partner to push himself in training. This strategic alliance has a clear goal: to arrive at the start of competition at their highest level possible. The news has sparked surprise and intrigue. Seeing two stars of this caliber sharing the court before a tournament where they could face off in the final is not something you see every day. Fans are wondering whether this is a sign of mutual respect, a strategy to study the opponent from within, or simply a way to push each other ahead of the tough clay season. Either way, the joint training between Carlitos and Noel has been one of the most talked about moments leading up to Monte Carlo. Alcaraz, known for his explosive ability on clay, wants to leave behind the doubts surrounding his performance this year. Training with Djokovic, who is one of the sharpest minds on tour, could be key to finding his ideal rhythm before his first matches. For the Spaniard, these kinds of challenges ahead of the tournament represent a unique chance to learn, correct, and mentally prepare for what's coming. But there's also a risk. Training with someone who could be your final opponent means exposing parts of your game, your weaknesses, your reactions under pressure. In such a strategic sport, that kind of information can make all the difference in a tight match. Still, both Djokovic and Alcaraz know what they're doing. This isn't an impulsive decision, it's a show of maturity and professionalism. The possibility that both make it to the final is real. Alcaraz, on the bottom half of the draw, has a more favorable path, though not without challenges. Djokovic, on the top half, will face tougher opponents. But if they both advance, the final in Monte Carlo could turn into an unforgettable showdown, with a backstory that adds even more drama. Two rivals who trained together, pushed each other, and now fight face to face for the title. Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic have broken the mold of modern tennis by training together just before one of the most important tournaments of the season. This move not only shows respect and trust, but also reflects the highest level of professionalism from both. Though they could have kept their strategies to themselves, they've chosen to test themselves in advance, prepare together, and arrive as strong as possible. Now the inevitable question arises, will this face-off be repeated in the final? If both reach the last match, the shared training will take on new meaning, and fans will witness one of the most anticipated duels of the year, with a prelude worthy of a movie. Carlos Alcaraz arrives in Monte Carlo as one of the favorites, but also as one of the most questioned. So far in 2025, the Mercian has had irregular performances that have sparked all kinds of commentary in the tennis world. He fell in the semi-finals of Indian Wells to Jack Draper and was eliminated in the second round in Miami by David Goffin. Despite these setbacks, the young Spaniard is not willing to lower his head. On the contrary, he has responded with firmness and maturity to those who doubt his level. In statements to the official website of the Monte Carlo tournament, Alcaraz was clear, "I'm very happy with my game. Since the beginning of the year, I've played excellent tennis." For him, tennis is not just about hitting the ball well, it's about deeper aspects like mentality, fitness, and emotional preparation. This holistic view of the sport allows him to stay positive even when the results don't come, giving him a mental edge over media pressure. One of the things that has bothered Alcaraz the most is the perception that whenever he loses, something must be wrong with him. People don't think about the opponent, they only think about me. If I lose, they say something's wrong. I don't think that's fair. These words reflect not only his frustration at hasty judgments but also his desire for the public and media to recognize his opponent's merits. At the highest level of professional tennis, any player can cause an upset, and that's something Carlitos doesn't want people to forget. Alcaraz also spoke out about the expectations placed on him. At just 21 years old, he's already won Grand Slams and is considered one of the circuit's benchmarks. But even with that record, he finds it unfair to be expected to win every time. Many people may have said we should have played better tennis or won more tournaments, but I don't think that's fair. For him, each tournament is a new battle, and the level on tour is so high that you can't always come out on top. The world number 3 believes the clay season, just getting started, will bring surprises. Alcaraz notes that there are many players performing well on this surface, making the road to titles even more demanding. Despite his youth, he speaks like a veteran, he recognizes the challenges, respects his rivals, and accepts that in this sport, even the greats can fall in any round. With these statements, Alcaraz not only defends his present but projects confidence for the future. "I'm very happy to be here. It's a tournament I've only played once. I want to come and play very well." For him, Monte Carlo represents not just a chance for redemption, but also a fresh start. Faced with criticism, he responds with work, attitude, and faith in his own talent. The goal is clear: to shine again on clay, his favorite surface. Carlos Alcaraz has shown that he not only has a powerful game but also a strong mindset. Far from being discouraged by negative comments, he has responded with honest words, defending his process and evolution as a tennis player. Instead of hiding or making excuses, he's chosen to speak clearly and show himself as he truly is: competitive, realistic, and hungry for glory. Monte Carlo will be the real test to see if this approach pays off. With his talent, preparation, and now also his determination, Alcaraz is ready to prove that criticism does not define a champion. And what do you think about Carlos Alcaraz's message? Is he right to ask for more respect for his opponents and his own process? Leave us your comment and don't forget to subscribe to follow the Mercian's journey through the clay season step by step. We live tennis like you do, with passion, analysis, and emotion. See you in the next video.